Today I'm going to show you how to create a drawing inspired by Vincent Van Gogh's The Bedroom. If you're new to my channel, please support me by liking this video and be sure to stick around and check out the other amazing art videos and art lessons on my channel, Rainbow Parrot Art. And please subscribe. Vincent van Gogh was a Dutch post-impressionist painter who spent much of his life in France. He lived from 1853 to 1890. His paintings are known for their vibrant colors, dynamic brushstrokes, and emotional intensity. The Bedroom was painted in 1889, just 1 year before his death. It's one of his most famous paintings. It conveys a really intimate picture of his home and personal space. The distorted perspective, irregular lines, and contrasting colors give this painting a really spontaneous, almost childlike appearance. As you draw Van Gogh's bedroom, feel free to personalize it and make it your own. Perhaps you want to add things from your own bedroom or things that you wish you had in your bedroom. Please feel free to use your imagination and have fun. And if you just want to try to make an exact copy of Van Gogh's bedroom, that's great too. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to start by drawing what looks like a square with rounded corners. This is going to be the end bedpost. I'm drawing the bed at an angle. Now I'm making light pencil marks where I want the headpost to be. This diagonal line marks the bottom edge of the wall on the right. This line marks the bottom edge of the far wall. And this diagonal line marks the bottom edge of the wall on the left. This vertical line marks the back right corner. The line forks off to the right and the left to indicate where the ceiling begins. This vertical line marks where the back left corner is. This vertical line next to the bed marks where the doorway begins. This is an excellent place to pause the video if you need more time to draw. Next, two vertical lines with a rectangle on top will turn into a desk. Now adding some rough lines that I can then go back and touch up later. For the chair, I'm adding a vertical line, then drawing a diamond for the seat of the chair, and another vertical line. These vertical lines are the legs of the chair. Now adding a long rectangle for the window, and a long line in the center where the shutters connect. Here I'm adding a long rectangular landscape painting hanging above the bed. This long rectangle is going to turn into a wall mirror. This vertical line marks where there will be another doorway. I'm drawing a diamond shape, which will be the seat of another chair, then adding the vertical legs of the chair around it. Here I'm adding a hook with a towel hanging on it. Above the bed, I'm drawing a few more paintings that are overhanging in a kind of awkward position. Just behind the bed, I'm adding some miscellaneous articles of clothing that are hanging on a wooden post. I like to call these basic lines the skeleton of my drawing because I'm going to build all the other details of my picture on top of this skeleton. Now I'm going back and refining the details of my bedpost by adding a wooden post on each end and an arch across the center. Now a post along the bottom, a curved post on top, and vertical posts on the inside. Now for a long diagonal beam along the bottom edge, a vertical post at the head of the bed, an arch in the center, and another post on the other side. I'm adding a couple of fluffy pillows and a bed sheet. And I'm ready to go back and clean up my lines and make my lines a bit darker. Now I'm drawing the door. I'm going to add some details to the landscape painting. These two window shutters are open a little bit, which is why they look like they dip down at the bottom. I'm adding some rectangular window panes. and adding the bottom edge of the window. I'm going back over the hanging clothes to make them look darker. I'm filling in the details of this wooden chair, adding a couple horizontal support beams at the bottom, making the legs of the chair thicker, adding a few horizontal support posts on the back of the chair, and a couple more support posts in the front. I'm filling in the details on this desk in a similar fashion, adding a little desk drawer, putting a couple dishes, a water pitcher, a vase, and a couple glass bottles on top of the desk. I'm going back over my lines and making them darker and adding a double line to the mirror, which is hanging from a wire. I'm adding the finishing touches to the towel. This vertical line is going to be where the second doorway begins. This wooden chair will be identical to the last one I drew, only I'm drawing it at a slightly different angle. Also, notice that because this chair is closer to us, it appears to be physically bigger than the chair that is further away. I'm adding the details on the door. Because this is technically a one-point perspective drawing, I'm drawing the lines of the floorboards to be consistent with this. Teaching about the specifics of perspective drawing is beyond the scope of what I want to teach you in this lesson, so for now, suffice it to say that the lines for the floorboards should not be parallel. Instead, they are diagonal lines which gradually move towards each other as they recede off into the distance. You can see how I'm also adding some short horizontal lines to suggest where one floorboard ends and another begins. For a finishing touch, I'm adding a few details on the paintings hanging above the bed. Feel free to pause here if you need more time to draw. Now that I'm done drawing, I'm ready to add color. I'm filling in my background first. I'm trying to use colors similar to the colors Van Gogh used. You can do that as well, or you may want to choose your own unique colors. By the way, I'm using alcohol-based markers to color in my picture, but you could also use colored pencils, crayons, or even paint like Van Gogh did. If you're not sure what the color looks like, you can test the color on a scratch paper first to make sure that it's the color you want. I do this all the time. For the floor, I'm first laying down some green color, then going back and filling the rest of the floor with a tan color. Once you're all done coloring, you may like to take a Sharpie or a black colored pencil and carefully outline the objects in your picture to make them pop out more. If you take the time to do this, it will really make a big difference and it will look really good. I hope you love how your drawing turns out. Please support me by subscribing to my channel, Rainbow Parrot Art. Also, be sure to leave a comment below and say hi, and don't forget to check out all the other amazing art lessons and art tutorials on my channel.